Hello! Hope all is fantastic. Great! Today we're going to talk about some food and deliciousness from around the world. Hope you have your food ready for dinner. Anyways, let's begin. Expanding one palate has been a fate which has never aged, actually. Chefs are always looking for new ways to spice up an old dish, as well as various techniques to utilize in making something tasty rather than bland. Meat is often a staple, and it is a good source of protein, of course. However, for some countries, meat isn't the only protein option. In fact, for some countries, while meat may be a centerpiece for meals, another source of protein is versatile as well, and more commonly available. 100% of an insect is edible, now you know, compared to 40% of a cow. Insects can be served in a variety of different ways, such as snacks, main course meals, or even desserts. Tasty on top of your ice cream. Thailand has an interesting idea with crickets. Eating insects is not unheard of in Thailand. In fact, they're often found on various occasions for a snack. Insects can be cooked in a variety of ways, such as ranging from frying to baking to serving them raw. One of the most popular insect dishes in Thailand is referred to as jing lead, which is frying of the crickets. Most commonly, jing lead is sold as a deep-fried snack by street vendors. Yummy. It is made by first frying the crickets in a wok for only a few moments before seasoning them with Golden Mountain sauce, which is sort of like soy sauce, and Thai pepper as well. Crickets are not only used in Thailand because of their abundance, but also because they offer a variety of minerals such as calcium, copper, and zinc, which are also found in beef. It is recommended when enjoying this deep-fried delicious snack to treat yourself with a beer as well. Jing lead is said to taste similar to popcorn. Yummy. China has an interesting dish. Some of the finest delicacies in China are insects. Insects can be served in all forms, be it boiling water bugs or served roasting bee larvae as well. The tradition of eating insects has predated in China of ancient times, tracing back for centuries. For many, insects are used as a cheaper, easier way of surviving. As many insects provide the same proteins found in meat of chicken and pigs. For others, some insects are viewed as a tasty treat and served in only the finest restaurants. While they're not insects, scorpions are also consumed in China. No matter where they've been served, one thing is consistent: they're live. Creepy. Live scorpions are prepared simply by sprinkling them with seasoning and then dunked in a hot oil before being served. In the cases where the live scorpions are served in finer restaurants, they are first dunked in a fine white wine sauce, providing patrons with what is supposedly a sweet yet crunchy experience. Yummy. In other parts of Asia, Japan has a tradition that is quite interesting, and eating insects are not uncommon in that area. Most rural parts of Japan, in fact, they have festivals for such events. One of these events is Wasp Festival, which celebrates wasps and different methods of eating them. Japan serves wasps in various different ways. One being there is a wasp in the ground up and turned into various different flavors or sauces, which are used to top rice and other rice cookies. Another is where wasps are cooked and placed inside a jelly jar, leaving the wasps encased inside a gelatin wound. Yummy. In other cases, wasps are marinated in ginger and placed upon sushi as well. A specific wasp delicacy in Japan is served over crackers. These crackers, which seem similar to American cookies, are filled with surprises inside, of course. However, they aren't the treats we're used to, though they sure do look like them. These cookies are sold in packs of 2 and are said to resemble a treat filled with raisins. If those raisins were better with rings, and bitter as well. Tasty. Mexico has an interesting source of protein in their package. Mexico usage of insects in dishes has been traced back to indigenous tribes when they filled the land. Now edible insects are still common in the outskirts of Mexico. Meanwhile, the bigger cities tend to use them as gourmet options in restaurants. One insect that is commonly eaten in Mexico, whether live or cooked, is stink bugs. This insect even has a festival for it. The Jumal festival honors stink bugs, which are believed to hold medicine capabilities and aphrodisiac effects. Although with high amounts of protein or minerals, stink bugs can be dipped in sauce and served live. where the odor of the stink bug is something that only some can fully appreciate. Others toast the stink bugs and place them inside tortillas, as either the meat or on toppings. They can also be made into pico de gallo and guacamole sides. The stink bug is said to have a spicy taste, if one can stomach both the taste and the smell. Stink bugs are quite stinky, to say the least. Indonesia has an interesting food dish. In areas where mosquitoes are everywhere, having dragonflies around is extremely helpful. These insects, which feed on mosquitoes, are beneficial to keep them away and keeping them from biting, but dragonflies as well serve among many purposes. For the people of Indonesia, dragonflies make a very appealing snack. In order to catch the dragonfly, a stick is dipped in tree sap and laid out for dragonflies to land on. Dragonflies, when cooked, are not served live like other insects. Instead, their wings are taken off to be prepared. The dragonflies are then either boiled, or if they're intended for a dessert, fried before then served. The taste of a dragonfly, some say, is akin to crab, as it is a nutritional value as well. I sort of want to try it now. Zimbabwe has an interesting one. Caterpillars are not an uncommon source of protein, and many countries in Asia have turned them into a different alternative protein source. In Zimbabwe, the mopane worm, named after its tendency to be found in the mopane tree, is a caterpillar that is not only beautiful but also delicious. Yummy. The mopane worm is a daily part of the diets in many parts of Zimbabwe, both in rural and urban communities. These worms can be cooked in a variety of different ways, making them a prime option. Before the mopane worms are cooked, they are first collected and squeezed until they no longer have any of their liquid green goo inside of them. Once they are emptied, they are laid out to dry in the sun. Mopane worms can be eaten dry, flattened like potato chips, or can be smoked and added to a sauce used as a protein option for heavy stew. Taste of a mopane worm is more bland than anything, but its protein-packed benefits make it easy and cheap to make, alternative to the more expensive options out there. Wonderful. Brazil has a simple delicacy that you can find in your backyard. Ants are everywhere in that whole world of ours. They're found under feet, in mounds, and on plates as well. In Brazil, ants are seen in some places as a gourmet option, one that is even celebrated for festivals. During October and November, the Brazilian people of Silvares celebrates ants not only by eating them, but by producing them with arts and crafts in their name. Ants are considered not only a gourmet option, but also one rich in protein, calcium, iron, and vitamins. Now you know. Their small state also allows for them to be packaged in meals. For a topping, an easy snack to go. I'm sure your kid won't be asking for an ant snack. We all have ant options out there. The ants are cooked in different ways. Sometimes they're fried, other times they're sauteed. Often they use alongside a green vegetable or placed in a salad, sort of like nuts. In Silvares, the ants are cooked and then made into a decent snack by being dipped into chocolate. Ants in Brazil are supposed to taste similar to mint, so dip them in chocolate seems to make an unlikely but tempting pairing. In other countries, ants are supposedly to have different tastes, ranging from bitter to sweet. I wonder what ants taste like in America. Please let me know down in the comments below. In Kenya, there is a very different meal, to say the least. Probably the most disgusting, but everybody has their options. Despite the havoc and destruction of termites can wreak not managed, there are used for termites inside your house. The most disgusting, I feel, is what may be served in Kenya. Despite the havoc and destruction of termites, it also is a delicacy in Kenya. They are taken out of the wood and then harvested and sold by the pound. Currently, termites are less abundant than they were before, and therefore in higher demand. Many Kenyans have taken to harvesting termites for both food and profit. In Kenya, the easiest way to prepare termites is to roast them over an open flame. Others add termites into their cornmeal porridge, known as ugula, and some even add them to their tea. I'm curious if they float. In smaller rural areas, grinding termites and feeding them to babies has been a tradition for villagers who believe that the abundant amount of nutrition benefits and termites provide will aid in children's growth. Like other insects, termites can also be fried in oil, and depending on the size, providing a satisfying bite. Yummy. Now we're heading back to Asia. Silkworms are mostly known for their ability to produce silk, and they're a highly prized possession in places such as China. In Korea, silkworms provide much more than just a textile benefit. Their pupae are widely known as being used in a street food known as bianadigi. These silkworm babies are also sold canned, but before they are placed in a can and sold to eager customers, they are first boiled and seasoned. The eating of silkworm has been practiced in Korea for ages, and many street vendors will cook their silkworms right there, the smell being one that is deemed unforgettable, and also one that cannot be missed. Benegai can be sold in a cup right after the silkworm has been boiled, seasoned, and left in a brothy liquid. Not only are silkworms increasingly popular in Korea, but they can also be purchased online. Make sure you see it on Amazon. They are recommended to be paired with a glass of white wine. Israel has an interesting feast upon themselves. Locusts have major negative connotations in religion. They are viewed as a bad omen, a sign of something worse to come. Despite their bad reputation, the people of Israel have found a way to get locusts a positive spin by turning them into a food delicacy. Locusts are the only insect that is considered kosher, and in Israel, where locusts are swarming and infesting rate that is going crazy, turning them into a meal seemed to be the only logical option, of course. Locusts can be eaten in a variety of different ways, but the most common is to fry them, whether it be pan or deep fried. This is done in order to keep their crunchy texture. Locusts can first be rolled into flour, spices, garlic, before being fried, or then also can be sweetened in a deep frying pan, and then topped with a marinade as well. The taste of locusts has been compared to prawns, and they are highly packaged with protein and nutrition. What would your favorite insect be to eat? Curious what your thoughts on that? I think the butterfly would be neat. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for the new subs. Have a great one. Bye.